Hello and welcome to Reading Light, where I simplify books for the modern reader, making them easy to understand, especially if you're an English learner. You're listening to a complete audiobook of Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, a classic tale. This version has been rewritten in modern English, maintaining the original structure of the book, so it still feels true to its time. For those of you who are English learners, this book has been modified to a C1 English level. Before we start, be sure to check out the special section at the end of the video, where we'll explore new vocabulary with examples to enhance your understanding. Now, without further ado, let's dive into the book. Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, Chapter 1, read to you by Reading Light. It is, of course, generally accepted that a wealthy single man must be in search of a wife. As soon as such a man moves into a neighborhood, each of the families living there will, without any inquiry into his feelings on the subject, immediately consider him the rightful property of one of their daughters. "My dear Mr. Bennet," said Mrs. Bennet to her husband one day, "have you heard that Netherfield Park has been rented at last?" Mr. Bennet replied that he had not. "But it has," she repeated. "Mrs. Long has just been here, and she told me all about it." Mr. Bennet made no answer. "Do you not want to know who has taken it?" cried his wife impatiently. "You want to tell me, and I have no objection to hearing it." This was quite enough encouragement. "Well, my dear, Mrs. Long says that Netherfield has been taken by a rich young man from the north of England. He came down on Monday to see the place, and was so pleased with it that he agreed to take possession immediately. Some of his servants are to be in the house by the end of the week. What is his name? Bingley. Is he married or single? Oh, single, my dear. An unmarried man of large fortune, £4,000 or £5,000 a year. What a fine thing for our girls. And why is that? What difference does it make to them?" "My dear Mr. Bennet," replied his wife, "how can you be so annoying? You must know that I am thinking of his marrying one of them." "Is that his intention in settling here?" "Intention? Nonsense! How can you talk like that? But it is likely that he may fall in love with one of them, and therefore you must visit him as soon as he comes." "I see no reason for that. You and the girls may go, or even better, you may send them by themselves, because as you are as good-looking as any of them, Mr. Bingley might like you the best of the party." "My dear, you praise me too highly. I certainly have had my share of beauty, but when a woman has 5 grown-up daughters, she ought to give up thinking of her own appearance. But you must go and see Mr. Bingley when he comes." "I cannot promise to do so." "But consider your daughters. You must go, because it will be impossible for us to visit him if you do not. You are too anxious to do what is proper, surely. I dare say Mr. Bingley will be very glad to see you, and I will send a few lines by you to inform him of my complete agreement to his marrying whichever of the girls he chooses, though I must throw in a good word for my little Lizzie." "I hope you will do no such thing. Lizzie is not a bit better than the others, and I am sure she is not half so handsome as Jane, nor half so good-humoured as Lydia, but you are always giving her the preference." "They have none of them much to recommend them," he replied. "They are all silly and empty-headed like other girls, but Lizzie has a little more intelligence than her sisters." "Mr. Bennet, how can you speak of your own daughters in such a way? You take pleasure in annoying me. You have no pity for my poor nerves." "You are mistaken, my dear. I have a high respect for your nerves. They are my old friends. I have been listening to news of them for the last 20 years. "Ah, you do not know how I suffer." Mr. Bennet was such a strange mixture of cleverness, sharp humour, silence, and unexpected changes of mind that the experience of 23 years had not been long enough to make his wife understand his character. Her mind was less difficult to understand. She was a foolish woman. When she was anxious, she imagined herself to be ill. The business of her life was to get her daughters married. Its pleasure was visiting and news. This concludes Chapter 1 in our playlist. Feel free to move on to Chapter 2 whenever you're ready. If you're here to learn, let's explore the vocabulary and examples from Chapter 1 together. Let's get started. Rightful property. This phrase means that something or someone people believe should belong to someone else. For example, they thought the house was his rightful property after the will was read, implies they thought the house belonged to him after the will was read. In the book, immediately consider him the rightful property of one of their daughters, means the families think the rich man should belong to one of their daughters, like it's his purpose. Without any inquiry. This phrase means doing something without asking any questions. For example, he made the decision without any inquiry into what I thought. It means to say, he made the decision without asking what I thought. In the book, the phrase, without any inquiry into his feelings on the subject, immediately consider him the rightful property of one of their daughters, means that the families assume the rich man should marry one of their daughters, without bothering to ask what the man himself wants or thinks. To take possession. This phrase means to take control or ownership of something. For example, he took possession of the house as soon as the paperwork was signed, means that he became the owner of the house as soon as the paperwork was signed. In the book, he agreed to take possession immediately, means to say that Mr. Bingley quickly decided to buy the house and move in as soon as he saw it, without delay. Good-humoured. This phrase means that someone is cheerful and easygoing. For example, she was always good-humoured, even during tough times. Implies she stayed happy and relaxed even when things were difficult. In the book, nor half so good-humoured as Lydia. Mrs. Bennet is saying that Lydia is more cheerful and in a good mood more often than her sisters. Throw in a good word. This phrase means to say something nice about someone to help them. For example, he threw in a good word for his colleague during the interview. Means he mentioned something positive about his colleague to make them look good. In the book, though I must throw in a good word for my little Lizzie. Mr. Bennet jokingly says he'll say something nice about Lizzie to increase her chances with Mr. Bingley. No objection. This phrase means having no reason to disagree or stop something. For example, she had no objection to the new plan, means she didn't mind agreeing with the new plan. In the book, you want to tell me, and I have no objection to hearing it. Mr. Bennet is saying he doesn't mind listening to what Mrs. Bennet has to say, even though he might not be very interested. And that brings us to the end of today's chapter. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.